All right. Well, good morning. We're in for a treat with Tiffany Six. She just ran back home out of breath after dropping off her daughter. So thank you so much for being here. I used to be a customer of Tiffany's years ago, and she was so awesome. And I was always one of those customers that would delay and wouldn't order. I'd be the kind of customer that you would normally say, oh, she's ghosting me, but I wasn't. I was just really busy and I kept forgetting to put myself first. So I would use Tiffany as an example with our teams all the time on persistence and always following up. So I'm excited to have you here, Tiffany. Take it away, talking about relationship building and how that's really at the center of what we do, and in terms of helping people find new people to talk to and get new customers and keep loyal customers, because I know you have customers that have followed you everywhere. So take it away. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And before I get started, thank you, Nancy and Enrique, for everything. We love you guys so much. Thank you for always being here for us, and every day. We just appreciate it so much. And so, yes, I am honestly out of breath. I'm trying to catch my breath. And so anyways, okay, so thank you all for being here today. Just thank you. And I'm privileged to be talking to you and about relationship building, just getting customers, how to attract, new customers, and how, just to be a good friend. That's honestly one of the biggest things. And like Nancy was saying, I honestly don't even know how her and I became friends on Facebook. One of us friended each other. I just remember Nancy always being there for me and being on my post and loving on my posts. And I always would see her name. And so when she would love on my posts, I would always go right to her page, and I'm looking around, and and that's one of my biggest things. If you want love, you have to give love, and you've got to give more love, more and more. You just have to be willing to love on people and being genuine and caring about them. And so when I first, friend people into my network, the first thing I do is I go to their page and I'm looking around, and I will, start loving on their posts and just checking in with them, seeing if they have, an active story, and if they do, loving on that. And a lot of times people love to talk about their coffee. They love to talk about their mornings and what they do. It's just a great way to start a conversation with them, on their story. Or if I have a friend who we met, she lived in Australia. She now lives in Dubai. She's moving to Iraq. She's all over the place, but I keep in touch with her, and there's something grabbed my attention about her. She had some post about her photography, and I just started a conversation with her just in Messenger. It had nothing to do with business or product or anything. It was just really wanting to connect with her and learn about her. And we just stay friends. We're friends. We talk to each other all the time. So that's one of my biggest things is, making sure you're loving on your friends and you're checking in with them and just being a good friend and so my next thing is just being you, showing up as you every day, and using your voice. When I first started in this industry, and doing this on social media, there's you're trying to find your brand. You're trying to find who, what you want to share on Facebook, right? And so just choosing some things that you love to share. I love to share about my family and my kids and what they're doing, and just different things like that. So just showing up as you every day and using your voice, because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. That is what people want to know who you are. So sorry, I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. So just bear with me, you guys. So once you start building these relationships with people and connecting with them, They're going to start seeing your posts. They're going to start seeing your story. So showing up every day, being consistent, right, is really important. And then once you start talking to them, you're going to find out more about them and kind of they're going to open up to you. And this is when a lot of times once I start building that relationship and with people, I'm going to ask them, I'm going to just say, hey, are you open to hearing more about some products that have really helped me with my inflammation and bloating? I would love to share this with you, and that's generally how I start. I always say open to hearing more. That's really the wording I use. And when they say, yes, I'd love to hear more, I share my story. So it's important to share your story because that's what they're going to connect with. They want to know how these products are helping you, how they've changed your life. And using the tools that we have available, you guys, and Happiness Gut Connection is a great tool to get people into so they can, because stories, facts tell, stories sell. People want to see that this is working for, people, thousands of people, and they want to be able to get in there and see, how this is helping others, and then finding out what that customer or that your friend, hang on one second. Oh, yes, Nancy.
I have a question. I have something that, you could probably go off like for a while on. I don't know, my dog did something in there. It made a loud noise. I have to go check. But so one thing that I would love for you to share is what builds trust is following through on what you said you were going to do. Okay. So even very quickly with someone new, you can do that by, asking the question, telling them you're going to do something and doing something, like, for example, adding them to a group or following up with them when you said you would. That's something that you were very good at, that I noticed, because I would buy from lots of different people. And I was also, selling. And what I loved was the fact that you weren't scared to remind me, follow up with me, to say, hey, I know you were going on that trip and you were thinking about blah, blah, blah. So can you just share about that? Because I think that's where a lot of people can connect with people. Maybe they don't ask the question, are you open? That's great. I hope you've all noted that down, because, hey, that could be, let's say you ask 100 people if they're open, and, a portion of them are, right? It's a lot more than you have had so far. What happens after that? Because you found out some things about them. They've told you a couple of things, and now you have something to go on. And that's the one thing that I think, whether they say the fortune is in the follow-up, that's a really important part of the relationship building process, because now I know I can count on you. So can you share about that?
I can. Thanks, Nancy, because I appreciate that, because follow-up is key, you guys, and you can't be scared to do the follow-up. People are busy. Nancy was very busy, and I was never, scared to get in Messenger with her and see if she was ready, because I knew she wanted the product. And she had a trip coming up, and she had expressed interest in something that I was selling. And I followed up with her a few times. Hey, are you ready to place your order, Nancy? And I know she was busy. And so don't get discouraged if somebody doesn't respond to you. They've read your message. It's just sitting there. They're just busy. They've forgotten. And so it's just those gentle nudges, you guys. It's just being kind. Hey, I know you've got, that trip coming up and you're really wanting this product. Let's go ahead and get your order in. Let's get that order placed so this can get to you right away. And those are just things that I say. Go ahead, Nancy.
Right. So I want to share about that, because, and then I've seen you do it with other customers, and that's why you're a great, customer getter, and people trust you and they just want to buy from you, and it's not icky and uncomfortable. Is you knew when my trip was, you knew that if I got my order in on a certain day, I could still get it on time. And that's a level of, like paying attention and following through that not a lot of people will do. And that's what separates someone who I can trust to buy from. And I know they'll take care of me. And so, maybe when you have a bigger team, it's a little bit harder to take care of everyone that way. But when you're newer, or maybe let's say you only have 5 to 10 customers, even if you're working full time, because, when we started in this industry, we were both working full time. So it's not like that's how we all started, right? With those customers. And it was really by building that loyal customer base that we got to that next point of, okay, now the team's growing. Now I can actually help that new person get their first 10 customers, because now I'm beyond that point, because you have to be a little bit further than the person you're bringing in, or how are you going to help them? So that's something I wanted to say is it's the level of attention to detail. And I don't know, can you share? I mean, did you have a notepad? Did you have note cards? How did you remember? Or do you just scroll through your messenger? I mean, whatever you do, it's not wrong. It's just, give some pointers on how to keep up with that.
Yeah, well, when I first started, you guys, I was running, working. I was driving 90 miles one way to work. I was picking my kids up. We had activities. We had to do dinner. We had to do bath time, And so the thing that helped me was just having a notepad and a pen and writing their names down. That's all I did, just writing their names down, and then getting in Messenger and seeing where that last conversation was, and using Messenger, you can, and I also use the search bar in Messenger. I put in a key, gut health, whatever it is, and it brings up all the messages that I've ever sent, and I can go right in there and follow up with that, customer, or potential customer, or whatever it is. So I honestly probably not the most organized person, you guys. I keep a lot of it up here. That's really how I've always worked, because I'm just busy and just flying, so, but yeah, just keeping a running list of who you've talked to, where they're at in the process, and then just being a good friend and following up and checking in. Sorry, Nancy, I got to go into the chat to see your question because I'm on my phone.
All right. How about, so after someone orders, how much do you follow up? Because that's also an area where people feel either bothered or taken care of. And everyone kind of vacillates between, should I check in now? Should I check in later? Like what, I like to send instructions right after they've ordered. Like, I just don't want to overwhelm them piece by piece. So if you want to share that part.
Yeah. So I'm the same. As soon as they order, I am in Messenger and thanking them so much for their order, and just excited for them to get started. Let me know when your products arrive. Here are starting instructions, but I want to be right with you, those first couple weeks. So let's check in with each other. And they love it, and so once I know their products have arrived, they're usually in my inbox, because they're just excited, because it's your enthusiasm too, right? You're excited for them to get started. So now they're like, oh, I can't wait till that mail gets here and my box is here. I'm so excited. And so, you know what? I'm right there with them. Hey, are you starting tomorrow? I ask a question, always ask a question. When are you going to get started? Okay, I'm going to start tomorrow morning. All right, I'm going to check in with you tomorrow and see how it's going, just so I can help tweak whatever it needs. Maybe, and I'm in their inbox quite a bit in the beginning. Just checking in. Hey, how's it going with the products? How are you liking it? How are you feeling? Just asking the questions, and and so that's kind of how I do it, and then. Once it hits, I'm usually the first week, right when they first start, the first day, and then a couple days later, I'll check in, right? So twice that first week, and then I'll check in usually in their second week, and then I kind of just chill. I take a step back a little bit, unless they're in my inbox, and then once I know that, so that's how I do it, and.
All right, you know what? Thank you so much. That's awesome. Let's open it up to some questions. Maybe if there's anyone that's like scared to follow up. And I'm sure there are some on this call. If, instances where you feel like, well, I don't want to follow up. I feel like I'm bothering them, or any kind of questions at all. Let's address them, because these are usually the little things that hold people up in either getting that order in or getting the customer to feel safe to tell you, hey, I don't feel like it's working or whatever, so you can work through the issues. Nancy Willette.
So I don't know if it's as much of a question as a confession. I only regret or hesitate following up if I've missed the follow-up after day 1 or 2. Right. And now a month has gone by and I've kind of forgotten to check in with them. And then it's like time for them to reorder. And I know it looks bad. It's like, oh, now that she wants me to reorder, she's going to check on me, right? So I just send a message and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I know you've been busy. I've been busy. I'm wondering if you've been consistent on the products, and if so, how is it going? That kind of takes me off the hook, because if it's something negative and they haven't been, chances are they haven't been consistent, then it's easier, I think, to hear well, I got bloated and and I didn't really coach them. So that's my only 2 cents in my self-tattling, I guess.
That's good. And you know what? I so relate. So if it's you and it's me, then it's pretty much everyone that gets, because, you get busy and you're doing these things, and then you come to that part of the month where it's reorder time. It's like, oh, I have to check in. And then you realize, oh, a whole month's gone by. So that's a good point you're making. And I guess the way to counteract that is to truly just have a notebook with names in it and keep referring back to the notebook, right? I mean, as far as I know, nobody here has 200 customers, right? So if you have anywhere between, 1 and 40 customers, or 1 and 70, then it can be possible to keep up with all of them. Certainly if you have 4 or 5, then the only thing holding you back from following up is probably you're worried that you're bothering them. And that's something that I do want to talk about, because you're here to help people. And so holding back from following up isn't really helping anyone at all. So Laura, yes, feedback, questions.
Well, I like to have my customers, I kind of put it in their ballpark when I have them order, and I ask them to follow up with me when they get their order, so that I can, because I like to warn people ahead of time, because I went through a pretty rough detox for a few days when I started, and I don't want people to, be caught off guard when they order and they start these products and they feel like they've got the flu or something. So I ask them to follow up with me when they get their order, and I try to leave it in their ball court and have them, say, my order's here. What do you suggest? How should I start? So that helps. That's worked pretty well for me. So I don't know if that.
I agree. That's a great point, Laura. That's what I do too, because I know I'm going to forget. And also I know when they get the box, they're excited because it's their first time, right? So they're more excited at that moment. And so they will be willing to take a picture and like, I got my stuff, And so that's a great way to do it. I think if all else fails, try doing it that way. If you're not great at remembering yourself, and they're always more than willing to let you know 9 times out of 10, right, Laura? I mean, there's hardly a person that I've said, and I know Tiffany does the same, and I know Nancy does too, is, hey, let me know right when you get your box, let me know when you get your goodies, and show me what you got, right? And I'm not scared to ask them, like, if I don't at that moment remember what they ordered, or I don't have my piece of paper in front of me, hey, remind me again exactly the items that you ordered. They don't mind, they know that you're not, all-knowing person that knows everything about everything. So they will. So that way you don't have to remember everything. You just have to care, to ask. So thanks for mentioning that, because that is a great big point right there. And it really helps you eliminate the fact that you might forget. And they are excited when they get their stuff. So they are going to to tell you. So as far as the relationship building, let's get back to that a little bit. So cold messaging, we don't teach that and we don't do that, because really at the end of the day, it is about, the connection. But I want you to touch on this, Tiffany, or anyone else that also wants to speak. When you are getting to know someone at first, is it long drawn out conversations about all their family problems and every, thing that they're doing? Yeah. I want you to share that, because I think that's another trap people get caught into, which won't build your business. It'll just take up all your time, take time away from your family and the people that really need you. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's really not. Because you're a great example, you and I, our friendship, because when we, first friended each other, however many years ago it was, we weren't in Messenger going back and forth about anything. We were just learning about each other by our post, and different things like that. And so, because, you're busy, and you don't have time to have all these conversations going, right? But you're still being a good friend. You're supporting them on their posts. You're loving on them that way. So definitely. I mean, we got to know each other over the years, really. Yeah. So when you were first my, like back 3 years ago, when you were my customer, I didn't know about, your girls and all the activities or anything like that. So yeah. Does anybody else have to share?
Yeah, I would love some feedback. Thank you, Tiffany. Exactly. And it's not, it's a business relationship, their potential, they might need something that you have, right? So it's that level, and a lot of times, and I did this at the beginning as well. It was like, oh my gosh, everyone was becoming my best friend, right? It was like, I was, Aunt Mary or whatever you want to call the person that, will listen to everyone's problems. And you're not actually taking control of your conversations at all. And you're just kind of letting your time be taken up. And that's not what you're there to do. If you're really there to help the person come to a conclusion for themselves, whether it's to try your products now or later, or not try them at all, or perhaps they're looking for an extra stream of income, then you need to be the one that's, guiding those conversations. And it's not just like this, dead end of, oh, I know everything. It has been over building a businesses together that me and Tiffany have known each other. At first, it was just, being supportive, in general, just a light supportive, hey, I really like this person. And over time that develops into trust when you start following through on promises you've made. So that's really the areas where you need to be focusing is, did I say I was going to do something? Did I follow through when I said I was going to do it? And the more you do that with people, the more they're going to be able to count on you and say, okay, this is someone that I might want to buy from, or I might want to do business with. Nancy Willette.
So, new customers. I have been pretty, I shouldn't say neglectful, but it's kind of like getting new customers has not been my focus. And I've got 5 in December and I've got 3 this month. And they literally pretty much reached out to me and said, I need that stuff you've been talking about. And I haven't done this heavily on social media. I've been on a little social media detox, I think. I kind of hit the wall, to be honest. And so part of it is posture. I don't know how to impart the fact that it's a mindset. They want something you have. Pretty much all of us here have been doing it a while now, either at least, 2 to 3 months, unless you're brand new. And so they know what you do. And when they reach out and say, I need more info on that gut health stuff, I go, oh, awesome. Here's the link. I mean, I'm just like in control of that conversation because they want what I have and I have that posture. Getting people to that point, it's probably, obviously I posted regularly on social media, but it's even people that I've met in person and then connected with on social media. So don't forget about those in-person relationships. I just always try to share a little bit of my backstory when I meet someone new. I just kind of weave it into the conversation after I've asked a lot of questions about them. So That's it. You know, I had somebody reach out to me and said, I'm really struggling. I need those gut health products, I think. And I say, well, you know, I will keep anything you tell me confidentially. Please tell me what's going on with you. I'm not just going for the sale, right? It's not like, here's the link, you need to order this, because I don't really know yet what's going on with them. But I had a guy that lives here in Minnesota I had met, connected with on Facebook. And when he started telling me his story, I was like, oh my gosh, you've been to the Mayo Clinic too. You had 5 specialists. You have gastro issues they can't diagnose. Okay, yes, here's what we need to do. So, sorry, had a call beeping in. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. It's posture. It's knowing that you have something they want and may need, or need and may want. And even if the want changes, remind them that they still need this and they can't get by with a 30-day trial. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm telling people 6 months. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so good. Yeah, I love all of that. Thank you, Tiffany. Appreciate you being here. I know you had you got a little kid and 2 big ones, right? So you're always running around, but you always make it work. So we appreciate you being here and being on. Yeah, I mean, I think the core of it is posture. The core of it is not word vomiting on people about anything. It's not about the sale. It's about helping someone potentially could be looking for something that you have, right? And like, and Nancy, I mean, the reason you're getting, maybe I've done some social media detox lately too, but it's funny, like old customers are coming back and making another order. Other people are coming in my inbox and saying, hey, I want to try it. So it's just the consistency that allows people to remember you, right? So, and you shouldn't, if you're really looking to keep building and get your new customers and everything, you really shouldn't be taking your foot off the gas for a really extended period of time. It's okay to take breaks. But as long as you've been consistent and people know, hey, this person is really serious about it, they will come back and talk to you about it. So I know I've had that same experience, Nancy. It's like, okay, sometimes you work really, really hard, then you take your foot off the gas for a minute, and then people start asking you again because they're like, I don't know, for some reason, energetically, you're like, okay, well, if they want it, they'll come back, and they do somehow. So sometimes when you're really intently like trying to get a customer, they're so repelled. But sometimes when you just, kind of play that tango, right, where you're just, you're helping just enough, but you're letting them come back, it works really, really well. Nancy you've got your hand up again.
I know, sorry.
Yes.
That triggered something for me. So what I had noticed in my following with Facebook and Instagram is I lost my audience. So I don't know if Facebook was censoring me, if the algorithm didn't like me anymore, if I was posting too much about the products and the business opportunity or what, but my everything was way down. And I was like, ooh, okay, I need to get back to being a regular human being again for a while, and then I can work in, I forget what they called it. It was the something jab, where you post regular life stuff for a while and then drop in a strong business post or a strong product post, but not just images that looks like advertising, right?
Right.
So anyway, I've noticed now my following is coming up a little bit. I'm mostly active in stories. Still trying to figure out how to do those darn reels. I'm going to do a reel soon. So, anyway,
I can't wait. That is going to be fun to see.
That's my 2 cents. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, so true. And true about the algorithm. And actually, if you think about it, if someone who's not a network marketer selling anything, it's off-putting to them sometimes too much of that. The people, like Tiffany said at the beginning, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So the whole point is to get to be knowable, likable, and trustable, right? Which means show more of yourself and your lifestyle, and then pepper in, a lot of the work we do is in Messenger, right? We just talk to people, and it's not necessarily visible to everyone, but the question asking process in Messenger is probably one of the most important things that you should get good at doing. And don't, when you're sharing your story, keep it short. make it more about them, find out more, ask the questions, which Nancy and Tiffany are both really good at. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Tiffany, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Nancy, for your input, and everyone else. Laura, thank you, and have an amazing Monday. And we'll see you again next Monday and on Saturday too for Miracle Morning. Don't forget, there's Tuesday trainings in Amplify Official and on the Zoom. There's Wednesday, Happiness Gut Connection, the doctor videos, and then Thursdays is our opportunity calls. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Recording stopped.